Anaseka here. I have a little Christmassy kind of a card to share with you today. I chose this sticky image called Christmas Prank, and the whole image is actually plus one bird, but I decided to leave that one out and have just these two critters. I'm coloring the image on craft colored cardstock, and I'm using my polychromos and other pencils. Basically just really good colored pencils, and it will work, Prismacolors or whatever you have on hand. I am no expert when it comes to coloring with colored pencils, but I do love to experiment and try and learn new things. So I'm just gonna be coloring here for a while. And if you don't want to watch me coloring these little cuties, you can just skip to the 6.5 mark of the video, and that should take you to the card making part of this video. I'll be speeding up the coloring process and adding a bit of music in the background so you can watch me color and listen. Well, now that the colouring is done and I've already cropped my image down, I am adding distress ink to the edges and making sure that the image has a bit of shadow and background by having this subtle ink or subtle blue ink in the background. I want to keep it blue because of the bird, and for some reason it just looks good on craft really. I'm just making sure that the edges are a wee bit darker than the rest of the background. And now I've already cut down the card base. It is a standard size A2 card, and this card is quite simple in design, but I still wanted to frame the whole image really. So I'm using my scoreboard and bone folder to add several lines or to make a kind of a frame. I'm sorry for being out of frame there, but you will be able to see what I'm doing. I am just adding 2 score lines on each and every part of the card base to like frame the image or give it a bit of, I don't know, grounding, because I didn't want to add that much pattern paper, but I still needed that little bit of something. And this is really easy to do and can make any clean and simple card look a bit more complicated than it really is. So now that that is done, I am also adding a wee bit of glitter. Yes, surprise, I'm adding sparkly things to my cards. I'm just using a Sakura pen, a Jelly Roll pen in clear dust, or clear glimmer stardust I believe it's called, and I'm just adding a subtle hint of sparkle by just drawing next to those score lines they are already made, just to add a tiny hint of it. And now I want this image to be in the center, and I had already cut out this white sparkly cardstock. It's white glitter with a bit of silver in it as well, so it adds a subtle sparkliness to the whole card. And I'm just popping it up by using 3D foam, and that will be going on top of that white glittery cardstock. And I will then stick the layered piece in the middle of my folded card. And yes, I do like sparkly things, so I'm adding even more sparkle to those ornaments, both using dots and using a Spectrum Noir clear sparkle pen to add a subtle layer of sparkliness. Just be careful when you use these kind of pens, they tend to take a bit of the pencil back up, so just make sure you scribble that off. And because these are ornaments, I wanted them to have a bit more sparkle to them. Yes, you can't get enough. So I'm adding a glossy accent to cover all these ornaments, so they look like they're made out of glass. Just adds that little bit of something to it really. And now the background needs just a tiny bit more, so I'm using my Nuvo drops, glitter drops, just adding them here and there, just for that little extra. And that's the card done really.